again, one of your mailbag questions, how quickly do you think the offense can be rebuilt? I mean, they need a lot.
They do. And Andrew Barry said, let's see how or Jimmy Haslam and Andrew Barry talked about, okay, let's see how the next 4 months go, and before you can properly reassess that. But if you have a significant upgraded quarterback, whether that's Shadur Sanders just plays better in the second year, or you bring somebody else in, you add a number one receiver, and you add two or three starting offensive linemen, why couldn't the offense be really good, or at least really improved? Because you have Harold Fannin Jr., you have Quinshon Judkins, um, you already have Jerry Jeudy, you have a couple other pieces. I think we've seen teams make drastic improvements from one year to the next if you get the quarterback and the coach right. And the Browns are going to have a new play caller next year. They might have a new system. Who knows? I just don't think it's right to be, hey, they're going to be bad again on offense. I think you can make significant strides. Now, is it going to be easy to find that quarterback? Is it going to be easy to find that receiver? I'm not saying any of that. I just think if you make smart decisions, and we know what they're going to address, it's quarterback, line, and receiver. I think you should be able to make a significant improvement.
I'm curious as to your thoughts. When you look at wide receiver, what type of receiver do you think the Browns are looking? I think they need a guy that's a contested catch guy. You can't be slow, but I'm not looking for some guy. Give me somebody that when the ball is in the air, he's going to go get it.
I'm with you. I haven't done a ton of draft prep yet, but you hear guys say, well, he's really good in the slot. Like, I'm not saying that slot receivers aren't important, but if you're spending a top 10 pick on a receiver, like, that would not be where I would focus my energy. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm with you, David. I'd be a guy that's outside, that you can throw it up to one-on-one down the sideline. I mean, I look at Booty for the Patriots,
Yep.
and he made a couple of those catches yesterday, and I texted somebody. I said, he's better than anybody the Browns have. Now, maybe I'm underselling Jerry Jeudy, but I studied Booty before the Browns played the Patriots. I've watched him multiple times. I really like him, and he's a sixth-round pick like 2 or 3 years ago out of LSU. And I don't know why he dropped that far, but he looks like a legit player in this league to me. And he's I think he's 5'11", but he's physical. Like, he's got a bigger body to him. I agree. I think that's the kind of receiver I would look for too.
Yeah, it's kind of the quarterback's best friend. I know if I put the ball here, my guy has a better than 65%. They call them 50-50 balls. They're more like 70-30 when you get a guy that's good at those type of catches.
Yeah, and not that you don't need all those guys, but I think Shakir with the Bills, right? It's a lot of bubbles, it's a lot of this, and then you got to break a tackle, and then and that works too, and you need guys like that, but that feels like a little, drips and drabs to me, where if you get a guy that you can throw the ball 40 yards down the field to and go make a play or draw a pass interference, those things change the game a lot quicker.
What do you think happens with quarterback? And I know it's dependent on, whoever the head coach is. Do you think they look veteran because, by all accounts, it's Francisco Mendoza, and then I'm sure there's going to be one or two guys that are in the second or third round that can end up playing in the league, but it's been 99 and we haven't really identified many of those.
Yeah, right now I would lean toward some kind of veteran being added, which doesn't eliminate a rookie, a draft pick in the second or third or fourth round. I think it's important to remember that, a guy doesn't have, I know the success rate is better in the top 5 or top 10, and I certainly advocate for taking a guy there if you think one is worth it. But you can also get quarterbacks elsewhere, right? Jackson Dart was in the 20s. Tyler Shuck, I think, was 40. He was certainly in the second round. Those guys look like they might be able to play in this league. And the Browns determined they weren't good enough for them to take, and they were desperate for a quarterback. So I think you have to be willing to take some shots there. You have to keep your eyes open. You have to be right evaluating these quarterbacks that aren't, quote unquote, can't misses, right? You still have to be willing to take a chance on those guys. And, they did that with Dylan Gabriel. And, I think Tyler Shuck would have been a better pick than Dylan Gabriel, right? So they have to be better at that. But it's still a big question mark if you draft a rookie, especially outside the top 10. So, yeah, would a Mac Jones or a Malik Willis or, Daniel Jones, would they give you a better chance to win in 2026, which I think is important? And I would say yes, right? That's the kind of quarterback that, with a great defense, assuming the Browns come back and have a great defense again, that gives you a chance to win 9, 10 games because you have a quarterback that gives you that chance.